All right. No matter where you are and no matter when you are, good morning. Rare video, half day video, wild video, Wednesday, April 10th. It's not actually that wild of a video, but it's fun to say. All right. Imagine you work at an art store. Imagine you get hired, art store, art museum. And imagine you're protecting artwork, you're helping people, you're curating, telling them, hey, don't touch that one, don't touch that one. But you might be constantly directing them towards a certain painting. Now, why might that be? Well, that might be because you got hired there to exclusively put your own work on display at one of the most established art collections there are. So this is at the Modern Art Museum in Munich. I can't say that in German. Sorry. I can say it in Canadian. German Art Museum, eh? But anyway, I'm sorry. That was a bad joke, everyone. So imagine though you do get a job somewhere like this and you start putting your own artwork on display, telling people, "Hey, you should look at this one. It's really interesting." And so they discover a few, a while after, and they discover in October. And now when it's all over, the artist was able to sell his piece for $4,000, which is really cool. But he sold it to charity. Otherwise, I would be a little upset by this, all that clout chasing, and then you just get 4 grand off of nothing. But the fact that the donation did go to charity is super awesome. I don't like not being able to see it in the articles released about this. The museum didn't want to give it credit because they're like, "Hey, it went to charity. Let's end this. Let's get it over with." Nonetheless, I think that's really funny. So next time you want to get famous for some art, I guess just get, working in an art museum and maybe don't touch things though, because I think that's where it all went haywire. But nonetheless,
Is AI art good art? Is it moral? Questions that we're not here to answer. We're going to be talking about TikTok and Mr. Mitch McConnell himself. So, Mitch McConnell is trying to ban TikTok, and this is actually a bipartisan issue. Um, the the main argument is that China is trying to spy on us Americans through TikTok and gain information. What kind of information are they getting? I don't know. I guess the next new dance craze. But um I am gonna not gonna lie, I'm a pretty biased source on this. I hate TikTok. But I don't think it should be banned. As much as bad as it can be, um it's not harming anybody. And it's kind of interesting that they're going this route and trying to ban it because we have companies here in America that are already selling data to who knows. It's oftentimes companies that are seeking information to advertise to you, or they could be selling it to another government. But we don't know, and we probably will never know until 40 years later down the road when it is declassified. With that being said, um, TikTok is, as many of you probably know, owned by ByteDance, which is a company based the base is in China, and America is saying that ByteDance has to divest, and it needs to be owned by an American company if TikTok is to continue its existence in America. With that, basically, they're saying that China is their biggest threat, um, and it's because China's economy is growing fast, and they're I'm gonna say this, afraid of losing their power. But I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not used to this. I hope you enjoyed. Um, we're gonna take things to a bit of a heavy level, and I'm sorry. Stay frosty, guys.
all right, rare appearance from Khalil. So they are absolutely right. The TikTok ban is in full effect in some regards. It is feeling heavily biased by those who proposed it. So, in legality purposes, it made it through the House. We're stuck at the Senate. We have people on both sides saying yay, both people on sides saying no. This is the push by McConnell to get everyone to say yay. Now, like Khalil stated, this is a more important story that we're going to move to right now. It is a more serious story that is local but has national effects. So we all might remember, I at least hope, because it was quite heavy and quite available in our lives. We had a very tragic shooting of not that long ago here in the state of Michigan at one of our public schools. Now, what's really important about this court case is the shooter, the gentleman who actually went to his high school and murdered four of his classmates, was charged with life in prison, up to life in prison without parole. Now, the parents, for the first time ever in America, the parents of a school shooter who the shooter belonged to that school and is the same age group as the students, is they are in fact being held accountable. They're not being held accountable by saying, "Oh, you should be able to see into the future and predict that something this tragic was going to happen. You should have not." That's not what they're saying. The reason why they are being held accountable is multiple signs that built up. Over the years, this child experienced many issues that the parents ignored. There were open cries from the child to get help that the parents never did. Now, they also, one really important thing I want us to point out here is there is one major piece of evidence that we need to see to understand. So, it's important right here that we understand. The day of the shooting, the parents openly ignored a violent drawing and a written note from their son pleading for help. One that showed him committing these acts of violence. And they saw this before it happened and they did nothing about it. They didn't even talk to him. They let him go on his merry way to school. This is why they're being held accountable for this as well. Involuntary manslaughter, conviction 10 to 15 years. This is massive because this is an important wake up call to people to realize if your children are asking for help, if you need help as a child, you need to speak up. You need to talk to people. You need to make it aware so things don't like this continue to occur in our country. As parents, you need to be able to listen to your kids and see these signs. This is something that can't be ignored, and it's really annoying that it's going to take something like this for some parents to care. You might hear the emotion in my voice because this is at the risk of children. This isn't something that can be taken lightly, but it's taken very lightly in our country. So I think this is a major, major step that takes a way too unfortunate a case to make it to where it is. Nonetheless, it is very important that this gets brought into in front of people's eyes. Oh, goodness gracious. Now we're going to switch to a less serious topic because it's important to see the spectrum of news, but also, we need to lighten the mood a little, but also understand just how important this is. This story is massively important, but it is still a heavy one nonetheless. So I'm about a week and a half, almost, well, probably 2 to 3 almost now, late on covering this story, but we took a break. It's not summer break. I'm not uploading videos as fast as normal. But England, their new men's soccer jerseys have an uproar. So, if you did not know, the English flag for all of the colonies is the Union Jack. This one. But England specifically, right here, St. George. So, what's the issue? Well, people are having an issue because they think that this is related to the idea of woke culture as they are claiming it. There's a lot of British people upset on Twitter saying very nasty things like this. And this is something, this isn't even close to as nasty as some of the things people are saying. But nonetheless, there's a more calm one, but still a ridiculous take nonetheless. So the kits are, revealed. Here they are before people get upset. They see this. A playful update on the St. George appears on the collard. Now, people went berserk about this in England. They went nutty style, but so much so that Nike had to issue a statement saying this is actually a tribute to the 1966 English team to say congratulations to the accomplishments in which they made. People did not believe them. They're still upset. People pointed out, well, none of you cared in 2010 when they did something very similar and made the flag just the different colors of a LGBTQ rainbow to include diversity. But scrap all that, children. This isn't about pride. This is the thing they're upset about. Navy, blue, purple, purple, blue, navy. A lot of English people think that this is the bisexual flag and that they're forcing American LGBTQ values in England on their men's soccer team, and they're very upset by this. Pink, purple, blue. Oh, navy, blue, purple. Purple, blue, navy. Wait a minute. Pink, purple, navy. Those aren't the same. Pink's not even in the stitching of this flag. Blue's not even in this flag. And also, for pride flags, the color order very much matters. So all of that's ridiculous. So let's get rid of this and see what are they representing. They're representing the 1966 English champions. This cufflink on their jackets, their warm-ups, on their collar, on their collars. Oh. And then there's the red, because they wore the reds during the championship. So I wonder why there's red striped down the middle. Oh, also the flag was red. So I just thought this was really funny that it was a week and a half of people on radio, podcast, TV, news cycles, Twitter, you name it, all English people going insane, claiming that this was an American value woke culture attacking the old English. Boy, oh boy, they sound a little goofy when they would have stopped and done their research. All right. Now, if you didn't hear, we last week had an earthquake in New York, which is wild. There was, in fact, even a governmental body meeting going on in New York at this time. The United Nations were meeting, discussing things about Israel and Palestine, when, as you can see, the earthquake hits. The room begins to shake. They continue. Now, the woman speaking actually asked the council, should I continue? You can see people like the gentleman in the back are a little worried, looking around like, what's going on here? People are finally starting to register what's going on. So this is a 4.8 earthquake. Now, this is a very interesting thing. So I'm going to show us a different view. So here's the same city, a little bit different style. This is on MLB Network, but they, during a joke session, started experiencing the earthquake.
That was entertaining right there. Who was your best?
Are we having an earthquake?
At first, I didn't even register it was real.
Are we having an earthquake? I think we're having an earthquake.
I'm not kidding.
Then after a while, they get a little concerned.
All right, let's go to break.
Guys,
Let's go to break because I'm leaving.
Shake it.
My car's right outside and I'm leaving.
Yeah, so that was interesting to see. New York, of all places, experiencing an earthquake. Scary stuff, but also everyone seemed to be fine. I don't think there was any major damage. A 4 point, anything is pretty low, thankfully. Now, last story of the day, super quick, nothing super world related, but there is a very young number one prospect in the MLB, Jackson Holliday, getting called up to play in his very first MLB game tonight at 7:10. So it's just exactly when I cut this off. I'm going over there and I'm watching it. This kid is going to be awesome. He's going to play alongside with his brother in the professional leagues for the same team. Their dad played in the major leagues. But what I wanted to share with you all is this really awesome clip of him being told by his minor league coach that tomorrow, so this was yesterday, he's going to the professionals.
Out early. But first, tonight, I want you to call your dad. I want you to talk to him, and I want you to thank him for all the times that he's allowed you to come into the clubhouse, be on his pass list.
Pass list means you can go inside of an MLB clubhouse.
That's pretty special, and it plays into a lot of what you're about. The second thing I want you to tell him is that now it's time for him to ask permission to be on Jackson Holliday's pass list because you're going to the big leagues. Awesome.
Super awesome stuff.
I'm fired up.
So even though he's not a Tiger, best of luck to Jackson Holliday. It's good to see all you friends, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you next time.